Hey, what's up? How's it going? My name is Fern, and what I have to share with you today is a condensed version of my series 5 Basic Transitions Refined, which is free and it comes at you for a number of weeks, and you get a video where there's someone talking to you, me, just like this, and then there's a physical practice, and then we put them together at the end. For now, what I want to do is just condense it, just give you a little bit. It's not even a generalization, it's just a little bit. So here's the thing, think about it this way. You want to be able to take care of all of the joints, all of the parts of your body, right? And when you go to a yoga practice, there's something you need to know. If you're new, it's not supposed to be easy, okay? It's just not supposed to be easy. And while some things will be possible right away, some other things won't be. And that is where we start to kind of repeat things in a way that may not work out for us because we are under the impression that it's the way that it works, while most of these things have multiple ways to approach it. And that's why I started to do this series. And I wanted to do a condensed one so that everybody that signs up for my email list can have this little bit of something to maybe look back to. I don't know, we'll see. So let's start off with the hands. There's a thing, oftentimes the hands hurt in yoga practice. Now right now I can't go into exactly how to use the hands in practice. However, if you're one of these people that this commonly hurts, hands and wrists, it's important that you learn how to stretch and mobilize the hands, the wrists, and the shoulders in a way that works for you. So if you come to my classes, we do a lot of wrist mobility at the beginning of class, which includes an upward rotation of the palms and things like that, which address the shoulders, the neck, the wrists, the arms, the elbows, all the things at once. So for someone that's just coming to this situation and you've been in practice a little bit and you need some help in how to use your hands, the best thing I can say is do some wrist exercises, get to class early, do some wrist exercises, and make sure you reach up and reach down a few times just from your seat, or maybe standing, maybe shake out the arms some, and make sure that when you are practicing, here's a little bit on the hands, when you are practicing, use the whole hand. Avoid having any kind of leaning. You can see your hand, it's going to be in front of you most of the time. Notice if you're leaning into the wrist. They say banking into the wrist, which creates a bending motion and a twist a little bit, which can aggravate the carpal tunnel and all of those parts. The other thing is it's possible that you're opening your fingers too wide. Now, I know I like to say spread the fingers wide, but there is a possible too wide, which would make it really hard to actually press down and lift up to get the little suction cup of the hand going. Pada bandha, I think it's called, although pada is foot. Okay, anyhow, so that's with the hands. And then one of the main transitions that I talk about has to do with the hands, because the hands are attached to the arms. And when you reach up, try to avoid lifting the arms with the palms already reaching towards the sky. Try to start with your hands facing down towards the floor, so that when you get to the height of your shoulders, you have somewhere to go. Turn the hands up, also the elbows, and reach up and touch way up there. That might not work for you. Some people can't do that. I totally understand. But what I'm just saying is that there is a rotation of the arm, so the palms are going up when you reach up. And when you come down, they're open and then they turn down at the height of the shoulders. This is something for your shoulders. It's a transition. We also do it with inhale to reach up. This will change the way that you're able to reach. So take some time to practice it. The other thing is, if you have trouble reaching way out to the sides, sometimes that hurts people in the neck, or if they already have an injury, let's say, keeping the hands together, pressing gently to bring them up above, and then bringing them right down center line. You don't even have to straighten the arms all the way. Keep the contact and a little bit of pressure, okay? Another thing that we talk about in the 5 basic transitions refined is how to move forward and back from downward facing dog. And the main point that I can tell you about is that almost every time you might be instructed to move to a plank position where your shoulders are directly above your wrists. Now you have to think about the direction your eye is seeing things. That's one way to look at this. It's really easy to move forward of the wrist and think that you're right above it. So that's one thing that has to do with your hand and your wrist. Another thing is shoulder strengthening and side body strengthening. So in particular, one thing that I like to do when I teach my plank postures, especially moving forward and back from down dog to plank, is don't go all the way forward. Keep yourself back a little bit of the wrists, and you'll notice that you'll be able to use your hands a little bit more effectively. This also helps you when you start to learn how to lower down and lift back up again. Okay, these are things that are very connected, but they are transitions. So moving forwards and back from down dog to plank. When you get to plank, instead of just lifting the hips back up, jabbing the legs straight, bend the knees, get the hips up there, and then do the legs. It's more of a wave, but you'll feel over time that this will integrate that whole situation for you. So another one of the important transitions here is stepping forward and stepping back, okay? In class, we're often told bring knee towards the nose and then bring the foot forward. Some of us, that's really hard to do. You actually need to bring the knee out to the side a little bit and then bring the foot in front, because it is not about ability. This is about the shape of your hip bones. There are different shapes for all of us, okay? So it's possible that over time this other action might work for you, but it's also possible that your bones are put together in a position where it's just not probable for you to bring the knee center and be able to put the foot down with control. So try bringing the knee out to the side and then bring the foot forward and put it down heel toe if you can. Here's the thing. You might not even have to go very wide with the knee. Try both sides multiple times and see what works. Try a couple of different things. Let's see. When another transition that's very important is when we come to stand from a forward fold. There are many ways to do this. If you want to fly up and reach up with your arms very wide, just watch out for the people next to you. First of all, if you're in a yoga class that's public, you don't want to smack them in the face. This is kind of a bad thing to do. The other thing is watch how you throw your arms around, like I spoke about in the lifting up thing, with the arms, with the palms facing down and then palms facing up when you get to the height of the shoulders. This will help you lift up to standing from a forward fold as well, because it contains the weight. It also keeps things integrated. So there's a reach out, but also a pull back in. Expansion, contraction, all at the same time. Another thing that happens is that sometimes this is a lot of work on the low back. Almost every single person, it will be helpful to bend the knees, extend the spine with the hands on the hips, and then come up, or hands on hips, hands to heart, and rise. This is, this is a way where you can integrate the whole situation, lifting up slowly, coming down the same way. Do a rewind of the moves. If your hands aren't on the floor, use blocks. Use blocks. The whole refined system that I put out shows blocks, and I love it. It's a really good idea. So what is another thing? Quadruped. So quadruped is hands and knees with your toes tucked. If you can't do that because your feet bug out, don't tuck the toes. You can still do some of the same moves, although you might have to tuck one foot and then the other to get the knee off the ground to do some of the moves. But this is a fantastic adjustment for you to give to yourself. And why would you do quadruped? Well, some people do quadruped when down dog doesn't work for them. Did you know that? Quadruped, I love to teach it. There's a lot of different things that you can do moving from there. There's a very big bird right above me. Okay, there's a lot of different things you can do moving from there, but for some people, based on different injuries and different things that have happened in their lifetime, down dog is hard to hold for a long time. So we do quadruped or hands on blocks in quadruped, and this is a fantastic option. Okay, lowering down from plank. if you have a neck or wrist injury or arm or shoulder, something like that, you, oh, a hawk almost came right here. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, okay. In every video I've done here, there's been a hawk appearance. Hi, are we friends yet? Do you know me? Are you the same one? Okay, so where was I? Oh, lowering down. This is something that is very challenging to learn. Please, 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 please do bring the knees down first. Bring the knees down. It is not a bad idea because you want to build some upper body strength. There are some things that I can put out. Actually, I'm planning on making some special videos. It's the warm-up that I do in class if you come to class, which if you got this video, I think that you do come to class. It is a thing where we do with the leg where the bent knee is lifted, the foot is pointed up, and then we do a little tiny push-up, and then straighten the arms and then bring the knee in as close as possible. You go through this process a few times, and then lowering down and lifting up are going to make a little bit more sense in your body and your spine. Please do be careful about how wide or narrow your hands are when you're experimenting. This is also helpful for a little bit of testing. Test it out for yourself. I found out over a number of years that moving my hands just a tiny bit wider gave me more room to integrate and lower down with control. This might be you too. I don't know. I can't see you right now. Okay. So lowering down. Oh, lifting up. Oh my gosh. If you cannot push up to plank, don't do it. Come to hands and knees, or do it where your knees are really far back so it's like half plank, or press all the way back with your hips, tuck the toes, and lift the hips from almost child's pose, causing your side body to be enacted. Oh, that is not the right word. Just cause your side body to turn on a little bit first, and it will build strength in a more rapid way, I think, at least if you're a very flexible person. This hawk is still there. Wow. Hi. Okay, so let's see. Rising up from a fold, we went over that. How you do your arms and your hands, we went over that. Stepping forward and back. Oh, stepping back, we didn't do that. Okay, here it is. When you are at the top of the mat, a little bend in the knees. Your hands can be on blocks, or you can reach down to the floor. Step one of your legs back so slow that it almost floats back, and tuck the toes onto the earth, keeping the front knee very bent. Do this a few times. You might even bring the knee towards the chest. This is a strengthening move. The stepping back thing, one foot then the other, with a lot of control. So what you want to look out for is what that other shoulder is doing. Let's say you step the left foot back and you're about to step the right foot back. You have to watch that you're not dipping one shoulder really low to make that happen, because this can be very uncomfortable over time on the neck. And that's the whole point of all of these refinements, is because, you know, one or two times these things are definitely not going to hurt you unless you have some other injury that I don't know about. So, okay. But if you continue to repeat things that might not be very integrated, this is where an injury will happen over time. Repetitive stress is a real thing. We want our yoga practice to be long term. This is why I do so much joint mobility in my classes. This is why I think it is so important to build strength in all of the parts, not just the center body, the legs, everything. If you have any questions, please do email me. I want to get this under 15 minutes, so I'm going to talk my little mouth off right here. Email me. You're on my email list now, so thank you so much for doing that. Follow me on Instagram. I would really appreciate that. I also have Dynamic Attunement Yoga on YouTube. Okay, yeah. And if you want to do the longer series, there's a link down below. Hit the button. Sign up for it. It's different. You're not going to automatically do it. You're not going to automatically get it. Okay, thank you again. My name is Farron, if you didn't know that. Bye.